Okay, let's have a look at starting up a C++ project instead of a Blueprint project, and we'll just point out a couple of the differences and similarities going on. Let's flip over to the capture screen. Over here, we'll launch Unreal Engine 5.4.4. We have Visual Studio 2022 installed, the right versions as per the documents discussed. Find the versions on the links in the documents that point you to Unreal Engine. So here we're going to pick games. We'll pick third person. Picking C++ here instead of our usual blueprint, and we'll say sample CPP, and we'll just start up a C++ project with everything else just set to the defaults. So it's going to create the project files, the SLN files, actually package, or sorry, file the pieces it needs, and then start up Unreal Engine with Visual Studio running in the background. Well, we can see some activity on the CPU here, and it'll ramp up in a couple of minutes as it gets filing stage. Here the compiling source. If we were to look at processes, start to see that it spawned up some Visual Studio here. There's a compiler there. Probably missed the bulk of them. This is a fairly large system with a multi-threaded CPUs, and does take a little while just on the initial startup. Visual Studio splash screen. The engine starting up. I've got the recording going well. Now, once our project is started, it's pretty similar to what we've seen before. The third person different here. So the difference comes in that it's done in C++ instead of in Unreal. And if we start looking at the browser here, content drawer, see there's now a C++ classes. Put a couple of sample classes in here. So with the new classes created, if we wanted to, we could create new blueprints, or you drag them out and use the environment. So I go blueprint class, all classes here. I can search that one called sample character, I think we saw. So if I do sample CPU character, select, I can say my sample character, drag it out. You see it's a character actor. Right now there's no animation blueprint here, so we could add, say, the Manny blueprint, skeleton. Should, if we were going to use it, go in here, up. For now, that part's just regular. C++, the Visual Studio Code is running in the background here. We wanted to see code for that. Then we'll click on it here. It's going to load it. It's loading in the background here, and we should now have sample CP plus loaded. Have the CPP file and the so we can make changes here. If we were to make a change in here, we could then go back to Unreal Engine. This button here for live coding is called recompiling. We didn't make any changes, so this should just recompile fine without any errors. We have the live coding succeeded. So that part of it works fine. So in here we have the new C++ classes folder. Have a couple of samples. Quick demo. Access it. If we go under File and Zip a project, The zip project does include the new folders. So if I say sample CPP here, let it compress it. It should compress it quickly. While it's doing that, okay, so let's quit here. Save our Visual Studio stuff too. If we take a look in the actual project folder, you'll see there's this new source directory here. So that is where the C++ classes files stored. You'll also see the Visual Studio files in here as well. Big, excuse me. This is the archive that I just compiled. I'm just going to double click on it to open it so it's not extracting it. But if I open it, you'll see that it does include the source file here. So when we did it when it was just a blueprint, it had config, content, and project. Now that it's C++, it includes the source directory. So that's starting up a C++ program or a game.